Did you know a 1989 penny could be worth far more than just 1 cent? Some of these coins have rare errors that could make them worth hundreds, even thousands. Stay tuned as we uncover the secrets behind the 1989 US penny, and I'll show you how to spot these valuable treasures. You won't believe the shocking finds that collectors have made with pennies just like the one you might have lying around your home. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1989 US penny, exploring the history, rare errors, and how these tiny coins could be worth a lot more than you think. I'll give you the tips and tricks to identify if your penny is a hidden gem. And stick around, because there's one error that's so rare it could make you thousands. You won't want to miss this, so keep watching. Before we get into the rare errors and their values, let's take a step back and understand the history of the 1989 penny. If you're someone who just keeps coins in a jar, or you've got a collection of pennies passed down through generations, you might not realize that the 1989 penny could be hiding something far more valuable than its face value. The Lincoln penny, the coin we all know so well, has been a part of U.S. currency since 1909. For more than a century, this coin has celebrated the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and it's gone through numerous design changes. The 1989 penny still featured the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse, which was used from 1959 to 2008, creating a rich historical context for the coin you hold in your hand today. In 1989, the U.S. economy was in a period of transition, and the minting process was running at full speed. The U.S. Mint, located in both Philadelphia and Denver, produced millions of pennies that year. The 1989 penny is one of the last to be made with the 95% copper and 5% zinc composition before the transition in 1982, where the penny's metal composition was changed. This is a key detail that could add significant value to older pennies as they contain copper, which is now much rarer. The U.S. Mint struck the 1989 pennies in both Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and in Denver, marked with a D. The minting process was meticulous, but sometimes things went awry, leading to some truly valuable mistakes that could change the course of a coin's worth. So while most 1989 pennies look the same, they could have some surprises hidden within their design. But before you start flipping through your change, let's talk about the common features of the 1989 US penny. If you hold one in your hand right now, it's important to know what makes it special. The composition of these pennies, consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc, makes them highly desirable in today's market. And let's not forget about copper's historical significance. As the years have passed, the price of copper has risen, which means old pennies are worth more in scrap metal. On the design side, the 1989 penny features the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, a design that was used on pennies for nearly 50 years. On the obverse side, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's portrait, a symbol of the nation's history and pride. These elements may seem standard, but as we get into rarer variations, you'll realize that there's a lot more to these pennies than meets the eye. It's important to note the mint marks on these pennies. If you look closely at the back of the penny, you'll either find no mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia, or a D, which represents Denver. Depending on which mint the penny came from, the value can fluctuate slightly. So the next time you have a 1989 penny in your hands, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think. But while most of these 1989 pennies look the same, there are rare errors out there that make them worth much more. And these errors, while not always obvious, are what sets certain pennies apart from the rest. Let's take a look at some of these errors and variations that could potentially make your 1989 penny a lot more valuable. First up, we have the double die errors. Now, this is a big one. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck twice by the die during the minting process, creating a shadow or second image that's slightly off-center. This can happen on the date, the word liberty, and the phrase, "In God we trust." If you have a 1989 penny with a double die error, it can increase the value significantly, sometimes by hundreds of dollars. To spot a double die error, look closely at the date of the penny. If the numbers seem slightly off-center, or if you notice a shadow effect around the letters, you may have a winner. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. This type of error is sought after by collectors and could land you a significant payout. Another error to look for is an off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not properly aligned with the die during the striking process, causing it to be stamped off-center. When you examine a penny with this error, you'll notice that the design is not fully centered, and part of the coin's edge might be missing. While off-center strikes are relatively common, if you find one from 1989, it could still be worth a lot, especially if it's dramatically off-center. Now, die cracks and cuts are another error that can make your penny stand out. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coin starts to wear down, resulting in cracks that appear on the coin. Cuts are small raised areas that can form when a piece of the die breaks off. These errors are particularly appealing to collectors who love the unique characteristics they bring to a coin. The value of die cracks and cuts can vary, but they're certainly worth keeping an eye out for. Lastly, there's the rare wrong planchet error, which occurs when a penny is struck on the wrong type of metal. Imagine holding a penny that's been struck on a dime planchet or even a nickel planchet. That mistake could be worth a fortune. Though rare, if you find a 1989 penny struck on the wrong metal, you could be sitting on a small goldmine. Keep an eye out for these types of errors. They're more common than you might think, and they can greatly increase the value of your coin. But here's the kicker, there's one incredibly rare 1989 penny error that could make you a fortune. I'll reveal it in just a bit, so keep watching. Now that you know the different types of errors to look for, it's time to talk about how to determine the value of your 1989 penny. The first step in determining a penny's value is understanding its condition. Coins are graded based on their condition, with ratings like poor, fine, very fine, MS 60, and MS 70. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin will be. A regular 1989 penny in circulated condition is only worth its face value of 1 cent. However, if your penny is in uncirculated condition or has one of the rare errors we just discussed, its value could increase significantly. A typical 1989 penny with no errors or minting issues is worth just a few cents, but if you found a penny with a double die error or off-center strike, you could be looking at hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But here's where things get interesting. The most valuable 1989 penny error is something you might be holding right now. I'm about to reveal the rarest error that could be worth thousands. Don't go anywhere. Before we get to the rarest error, let's talk about how to spot these valuable errors on your 1989 penny. You'll need a magnifying glass or a coin loupe to closely inspect the details. Good lighting is key, as it will help you spot the fine details on the coin. Focus first on the date, because that's where double die errors often appear. Check Liberty and In God We Trust for any signs of doubling. Don't forget to inspect the edges for off-center strikes or irregularities. And don't stop there, turn the coin over and check the reverse side for any die cracks or cuts. If you're serious about determining your penny's value, it might be worth considering professional grading services. Professional grading services, like PCGS and NGC, can provide an official grade for your penny, which could significantly increase its market value. If your coin is particularly rare, or you suspect it might be worth something, sending it to a grading service could be the smartest move. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, let's talk about the rarest and most valuable 1989 penny error, the 1989 double die reverse. This error is found on the reverse of the coin, specifically around the Lincoln Memorial. The error occurs when the die is improperly aligned, resulting in a shadowed or doubled image. This mistake is incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a coin with this error. In fact, a 1989 double die reverse penny in excellent condition has been known to sell for thousands of dollars. The value can vary depending on the condition of the coin, but if you have one of these rare pieces in your collection, you could be sitting on a goldmine. But wait, before you run off to check your pennies, let's discuss the best places to sell your rare 1989 penny and get the most value out of it. Online platforms like eBay and Etsy are great places to sell coins, but make sure you know your coin's value before listing it. Coin dealers, auctions, and even coin shows are other great options, but always make sure you're dealing with a reputable seller. When selling your penny, it's also worth considering getting it professionally graded. A coin that's been graded by an official service like PCGS or NGC is likely to fetch a higher price. Professional grading services assess the condition of your coin and give it an official grade, which can increase its marketability and value. Local coin shops are another option for selling your 1989 penny, but be cautious. Do your research on your coin's value. What if I told you that a penny from 1978 could be worth much more than just 1 cent? I know, it sounds unbelievable. After all, we all think of pennies as being practically worthless, right? But here's the thing, there are rare versions of this very penny hiding in plain sight, and if you know what to look for, you could potentially turn a simple penny into a small fortune. Stick with me, because today, I'm going to show you how to spot those hidden gems that could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. You won't believe what you might have in your pocket right now. Let's get started. Before we dive into the secrets of rare 1978 pennies, let's take a look at the history of this coin. You see, the penny itself has been around for a long time, since 1909 to be exact. It features the face of Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This design has made it one of the most recognized and iconic coins in U.S. history. But in 1978, something significant happened in the world of coinage, something that makes these pennies so special today. In 1978, the U.S. economy was going through a turbulent time with inflation at an all-time high. That's right, the late 70s were tough for many, and this economic crisis trickled down into how coins were produced. In 1978, billions of pennies were minted, with Philadelphia and Denver both contributing to the production. So why, you ask, is this particular year so important? Well, the answer lies not just in the design but in the potential for rare errors that can dramatically increase the value of a coin that, at first glance, may seem like just another piece of pocket change. So, let's move forward and take a closer look at the key features of the 1978 penny and why these details are so important. The 1978 penny was made primarily of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which makes it different from later pennies made with cheaper materials like zinc-plated steel. In today's world of numismatics, that copper content alone can make these pennies highly sought after, especially by collectors looking to build complete sets. On the front, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait, which had been a part of the penny design since 1909. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. It's a timeless image that continues to carry historical weight. Now, there are subtle differences in these coins based on where they were minted. Pennies from the Philadelphia Mint won't have any mint mark, while those from the Denver Mint will feature the letter D. These mint marks may seem insignificant, but they can have a considerable effect on a coin's value, especially if you come across a penny that's particularly rare or has a significant error. But hold on, don't rush to judgment just yet. Because, as we dig deeper into the 1978 penny, there's one thing you need to know: some of these pennies could be hiding errors that make them worth far more than their 1 cent face value. Stick with me here, because I'm about to reveal the errors you should be looking for. One of the most common and sought-after errors on the 1978 penny is known as the double die error. This occurs when the design on the coin is struck twice, causing the images to appear doubled or blurry in certain areas. The key spots to check on a 1978 penny for this error are the date, the word "liberty," and the phrase "In God We Trust." If you spot doubling on any of these areas, your penny could be worth hundreds of dollars. This error is especially valuable when it appears clearly, so a close examination with a magnifying glass is a must, but that's not all. Another error you need to keep an eye out for is an off-center strike. When a penny is struck off-center, part of the design is cut off or missing, leaving the coin with a noticeable misalignment. This is a rare and highly prized error among collectors, and it can increase the value of your 1978 penny significantly. If you're lucky enough to find a penny with an off-center strike, it could be worth far more than a regular, well-centered coin. Let's not forget about die cracks and cuts. These are unique features that occur when the die used to strike the coins begins to crack or break. When this happens, the cracks or breaks get imprinted onto the coin, often in the form of small raised lines or lumps. These errors are especially coveted by collectors because they are incredibly rare and give the coin a one-of-a-kind look. If you come across a 1978 penny with a die crack or cut, you might just be holding a treasure that's worth more than you realize, but there's one more error that collectors are constantly on the lookout for: a wrong planchet error. This occurs when a penny is struck on the wrong type of metal, like a dime or even a foreign coin. Finding a 1978 penny on a different planchet is extremely rare, and it could significantly increase the value of your coin. This error is one of the most fascinating and highly valued, making it a serious find if you happen to come across one. Now, I know you're eager to know how to determine the value of your 1978 penny. Well, let's talk about that. The value of a penny isn't just based on its rarity, its condition also plays a huge role. Coins are graded based on their appearance, with scales like poor, fine, very fine, MS 60, and MS 70. The better the condition of your penny, the higher its value, especially when it comes to rare error coins. For most 1978 pennies, you're looking at just 1 cent if they're in circulated condition. However, when you start talking about rare errors, the price can skyrocket. Some 1978 pennies with clear error marks, like the double die or off-center strikes, have sold for hundreds of dollars at auctions. It's important to get your coin professionally graded, especially if you believe it might be a rare error. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can help authenticate the coin and give you a precise value. This can also make your penny more attractive to buyers if you decide to sell it. So, how can you spot a valuable 1978 penny? The first thing you'll need is a magnifying glass or coin loupe. This will help you closely examine the details on your penny. Look for doubling on the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust, as these are the most common areas for the double die error. Check the edges of the coin for signs of off-center strikes, and don't forget to inspect both sides of the penny for any die cracks or cuts. And when you think you've found something worth money, consider sending your penny to a professional grading service to get an official evaluation. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the rarest and most valuable error on a 1978 penny is the double die reverse. This error occurs on the reverse side of the penny, on the Lincoln Memorial, where the design appears doubled. It's incredibly rare and incredibly valuable, with some examples fetching thousands of dollars at auctions. If you've got one of these in your collection, you might just be sitting on a small fortune, but before you rush off to sell your rare 1978 penny, let's talk about how to get the best price. You can sell your penny online through platforms like eBay or Etsy, or you can take it to a coin dealer or auction. Just remember that the condition and grading of your coin will play a significant role in how much you can sell it for. Getting your penny professionally graded can increase its value and help you sell it for top dollar. However, be cautious when selling to make sure you don't get scammed. So, should you sell your rare 1978 penny now, or hold on to it for future value? That's a question only you can answer, but it's worth considering whether the coin's value might increase even more over time. If you've got a rare 1978 penny, it could be the start of a lifelong collection, or it might be time to cash in on your treasure. Whatever you decide, make sure you get the best deal possible. In conclusion, the 1978 US penny is far more than just a piece of currency, it's a potential goldmine for collectors who know what to look for. By understanding the history, the errors, and the grading system, you can uncover a rare treasure hidden right in your pocket. So, what are you waiting for? Head to your change jar, your pocket, or wherever you keep your pennies, and start hunting for that elusive gem. Who knows, you might just find something that could make you a small fortune. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more numismatic secrets, and as always, happy hunting. Have you ever wondered if that little 2002 UK penny sitting in your jar of spare change could be worth more than just one penny? What if I told you that some of these pennies might have rare features or errors that could make them worth a lot more than you think? Stick around to find out how to spot them and uncover the hidden value in your collection. Now, the 2002 UK penny may seem like a standard coin. After all, it's been circulating in Britain for over 2 decades. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Today, we're diving deep into the world of rare pennies, focusing specifically on the 2002 UK penny. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes certain pennies valuable, how to spot them, and how much they could potentially be worth. But hold on, because there's one rare 2002 penny with an error that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of pounds. Stick with me, and I'll reveal how to spot it. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Before we get into the specifics of what makes the 2002 UK penny so special, let's take a look at its history and significance. It's not just any ordinary penny, this coin is part of a milestone year in the UK's coinage history. In 2002, the UK celebrated Queen Elizabeth II's Golden Jubilee, marking 50 years on the throne. The Golden Jubilee celebrations were massive, and the Royal Mint commemorated this monumental occasion by releasing special designs on various coins, including the penny. The 2002 UK penny features the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. If you've ever held a British coin, you'll recognize this classic design that has appeared on UK coins since 1998. On the reverse, you'll find a beautiful depiction of a shield. This is the UK's national shield, designed by Matthew Dent. It's a symbol of unity, representing the 4 nations of the UK. This design was also featured on all UK coins in 2008 and remains a key part of the country's currency. What makes the 2002 penny stand out is that it was released during such a significant year for the UK. The Jubilee celebrations brought attention to the coinage, and the 2002 penny became a piece of history, making it more sought after by collectors. But here's the catch: while most 2002 pennies look the same, some of them could have rare features or errors that make them incredibly valuable. But how do you spot these errors? Let's dive into that next. When it comes to the 2002 UK penny, understanding its features and variations is key to determining its value. The specifications of this coin are pretty standard. The diameter is 20.3 mm, and it weighs 3.56 grams. Made from copper-plated steel, the penny is built to last, but the wear and tear on some coins can influence their value. So, how does the quality of a penny affect its worth? Well, a brilliant uncirculated coin, meaning it's never been used in circulation, will always fetch a higher price than a penny that's been worn down. The most important features to focus on are the designs themselves. The Queen's portrait, for example, is a classic representation, and it's important to check its condition. Any damage or fading to the portrait could decrease its value. Similarly, the shield design on the reverse is one of the defining characteristics of the 2002 penny. Variations in the quality and strike of the coin, whether it's a brilliant uncirculated version, proof, or a worn version, can make a significant difference. But there's something else to consider: errors and variations. Here's where things get really interesting. Some 2002 pennies aren't just unique because of their design, they might also have errors or variations that make them incredibly rare and valuable. Imagine stumbling across a penny that's off-center or has a misaligned mint mark. These errors aren't just mistakes, they can be worth hundreds of pounds, even thousands, depending on their rarity. Let's take a closer look at some of the most valuable errors that could make a 2002 penny worth far more than its face value. First up, off-center strikes. This happens when a coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be misprinted. A penny with an off-center strike can look pretty odd, but collectors love these kinds of mistakes because they're rare. If you find a 2002 penny with an off-center strike, especially one that affects the design significantly, you could have a coin that's worth a lot more than a regular penny. Another error to look for is a mismatched or missing mint mark. The mint mark is an important part of coinage, indicating where the coin was made. Most UK coins have a mint mark that shows if they were produced at the Royal Mint's London or Edinburgh location. If a penny is missing its mint mark or has a misaligned one, it can increase its value, especially among collectors who specialize in mint errors. Then there are double strikes and overstrikes. This happens when a coin is struck multiple times, causing certain features to appear doubled. You might notice that the date, numbers, or even parts of the design are slightly repeated. These kinds of errors are fascinating to collectors because they're extremely rare and difficult to find. One more error to keep an eye out for is die cracks and cuts. A die crack occurs when a crack forms on the die that strikes the coin. This crack is then transferred onto the coin's surface, creating a unique feature that collectors find fascinating. A cut, on the other hand, happens when part of the die breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin. Both of these errors can make your 2002 penny incredibly valuable, depending on their size and location on the coin. But wait, there's one rare error that stands above the rest. The missing legend error is one of the most sought-after mistakes in 2002 pennies. Imagine a penny where the inscription, "1 penny," is missing entirely. That tiny flaw could be the reason your penny is worth hundreds or even thousands of pounds. The error occurs when the die used to strike the coin fails to imprint the lettering, leaving the coin with a completely blank space where the words should be. This is one of the rarest errors for the 2002 penny, and finding one can feel like discovering a hidden treasure. But how do you identify a missing legend penny? Look closely at the reverse of your 2002 penny. If you see a blank space where the 1 penny inscription should be, then you might just have a very valuable coin on your hands. Now, you might be wondering, how valuable can these error coins really be? Well, let's just say that a missing legend penny has been sold at auction for hundreds of pounds. Some have even fetched thousands, depending on their condition and rarity. The thing is, these error coins are extremely difficult to find, making them highly desirable to collectors. If you find one of these hidden treasures in your collection, you could be holding on to a piece of history worth a small fortune. So, how do you assess the value of your 2002 UK penny? It all comes down to grading. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. The British Numismatic Society uses a grading scale to assess coins, from poor to uncirculated. The better the condition of your penny, the higher its value. When evaluating your coin, make sure to check for any damage, wear, or signs of aging. Coins that have been well preserved are always worth more than those that have been worn down over time. It's also important to understand the market value of the 2002 penny. A regular 2002 penny is worth just 1 penny, but when you find one with an error or in excellent condition, the price can skyrocket. For example, a common 2002 penny might only fetch a few pence at a coin shop, but a rare error penny could sell for hundreds at auction. The more rare the error, the more valuable the penny becomes. If you've got a rare 2002 penny, you might be wondering where to sell it. Well, there are plenty of options. Online platforms like eBay and Etsy are great places to list your coin, and specialized coin-selling websites can help you reach the right audience. If you prefer a more traditional route, you can take your coin to a local coin shop or even a larger auction house. These dealers are experts in coin valuation and can help you assess the value of your penny and find the right buyer. for some coins, it might be worth sending them to a professional grading service, like the British Numismatics Society or third-party companies like PCGS. Certification can increase the value of your coin and provide proof of its authenticity, which is especially important for rare error coins. Once your coin is graded and certified, it'll be much easier to sell for top dollar, but before you rush to sell your 2002 penny, consider whether it might be worth holding onto for a little while longer. The value of rare coins can fluctuate over time, and if you're willing to wait, your penny might be worth even more in the future. The key is knowing when to sell and when to hold on. So, what have we learned today? The 2002 UK penny is more than just a small coin, it's a potential treasure trove waiting to be discovered. By understanding its history, identifying rare errors, and assessing its value, you could turn a simple penny into a small fortune. And if you found one of those rare, missing legend pennies, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. Have you ever found a rare 2002 penny in your collection? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more coin collecting content. Who knows? Your next find could be the one that makes you a fortune. Until next time, happy collecting. Imagine you're holding a simple 1988 penny. To most people, it's just a piece of copper and zinc, worth exactly 1 cent. But what if I told you that this very penny could be hiding a treasure worth hundreds, maybe even thousands, of dollars? That's right, a simple penny from 1988 could be more valuable than you ever imagined. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how your 1988 penny could be worth a small fortune, just waiting to be discovered. Stick with me as we uncover rare errors that could send its value skyrocketing. And keep watching, because towards the end, I'm going to reveal a 1988 penny error so rare, it could make you a serious amount of money. You won't want to miss it. First, let's set the stage. The 1988 penny, what makes it so special? To understand the value, we need to take a trip back in time to 1988, when this penny was minted. 1988 was a significant year in US history. The economy was humming along, and the mint was cranking out billions of pennies. But the 1988 penny, although it looked just like any other coin, carries a history that might surprise you. You see, the design on the back of the 1988 penny, known as the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, was in use for decades, from 1959 to 2008. The reverse, featuring the iconic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., became a symbol of American pride. It's hard to believe that a design so well known could hold hidden secrets. But hidden beneath its familiar design could be errors worth more than a penny. By 1988, the US Mint had been running smoothly for years, but there were still some inconsistencies in coin production. Let's dive into how those inconsistencies have turned certain 1988 pennies into valuable collectibles. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of rare errors, let's talk about the basics. The 1988 penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. These copper pennies were more valuable back then, especially since copper prices have risen significantly in the last few decades. But it's not just the metal that could make your penny special. The 1988 penny features Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front. His profile has been gracing US coins for over a century now, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world. And, of course, the mint mark plays a role in identifying where your penny came from, either Philadelphia or Denver. But while many 1988 pennies may look the same at first glance, there's a whole world of rare errors and variations that could make yours worth far more than face value. Stick with me, because we're about to take a look at some of these valuable errors. Let's start with one of the most common errors you might find on a 1988 penny, the double die error. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a double die error? This is when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing some of the details, like the date or words on the coin, to appear doubled. On a 1988 penny, the most common areas to look for doubling are the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust. If you spot doubling on any of these areas, you might have an error penny worth far more than 1 cent. Next up, we've got off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the penny is not properly aligned with the die during production, causing the design to be printed slightly off-center. This error is very popular among collectors, as off-center coins have a unique look. They're not always easy to spot, but once you know what to look for, you'll be able to identify them right away. If you find an off-center 1988 penny, it could be worth a lot more than its original value. Another interesting error to look out for is die cracks and cuts. A die crack happens when the die that strikes the coin starts to crack, and part of the crack can be seen on the coin. A cud, on the other hand, is a raised area that forms when a chunk of the die breaks off and leaves a visible imprint. Both die cracks and cuds can make your 1988 penny highly desirable to collectors, and depending on the severity and location of the error, these pennies can command a premium price. But here's where things get even more exciting: some 1988 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet. What does this mean? Well, a wrong planchet error occurs when the penny is struck on a piece of metal that wasn't intended for that denomination. For example, a penny could have been struck on a dime planchet, which would make it much more valuable. If you find a 1988 penny that's been struck on a wrong planchet, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. But wait, there's more. While these errors are certainly valuable, there's one 1988 penny error that's even rarer, and it could be worth thousands. I'm talking about the 1988 double die reverse error. This is the holy grail of 1988 penny errors, and if you find one, you could be holding a coin that's worth a small fortune. Stay tuned to find out why this error is so rare and how you can spot it. So, how do you know if your 1988 penny is one of these rare treasures? The first step is grading. The value of any coin depends on its condition, and the same is true for your 1988 penny. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to MS-70, mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A penny in good condition will be worth close to face value, but if you find one with a rare error and it's in excellent condition, you could be looking at a much higher price tag. But here's the thing: just because you have a 1988 penny with an error doesn't automatically mean it's worth a fortune. The value depends on how rare the error is and how well the penny has been preserved. Some 1988 pennies with errors have sold for hundreds of dollars at auctions, while others have gone for thousands. Now, let's talk about how you can sell your 1988 penny if you think it's worth more than face value. There are a few different ways to go about it. Online platforms like eBay and Etsy are great places to sell rare coins, as they have large communities of collectors looking for specific errors. However, you may want to consider getting your penny professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Grading your penny can increase its value significantly, and it makes it easier to sell to serious collectors. Local coin shops, auctions, and coin shows are also good places to find buyers for your rare 1988 penny. But be careful. You want to make sure you're getting the best deal, so it's important to know the true value of your coin before you sell it. So, should you sell your 1988 penny now, or hold on to it for a few years? That's a tough question, and the answer depends on a lot of factors, including the rarity of the error and how much demand there is for that particular coin. If your penny is an extremely rare error, it might be worth holding onto it and waiting for the value to increase. But if you're ready to cash in on your discovery now, you can find buyers who are willing to pay top dollar. Before we wrap up, let's take one last look at what you've learned today. The 1988 penny might seem like just another coin, but it could hold hidden value, especially if it's one of the rare error varieties we talked about. From double die errors to off-center strikes and the ultra-rare double die reverse, there are plenty of ways your penny could be worth a lot more than you think. So, go check your pennies. You never know, the next one you find could be a rare treasure worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. If you found a valuable 1988 penny, leave a comment below and share your discovery with us. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more coin tips and collector's secrets. Happy hunting, and remember, you could be sitting on a small fortune with just one penny. Welcome. If you've ever had a coin collection or just tossed spare change into a jar, you might want to pay close attention today. Imagine this: a penny, just one small cent, hidden among thousands of others, could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That's right, you could have a small fortune sitting right under your nose. In today's video, we'll be diving deep into the 1997 US penny, and we're going to show you how to spot rare errors that could make these coins worth far more than their face value. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you might just discover that a penny you've been ignoring is worth more than you ever thought possible. But here's the catch: there's one specific 1997 penny error that stands out above all others. Could your penny be worth thousands? You'll have to stay tuned to find out, but trust me, you won't want to miss it. Before we jump into how to spot these hidden treasures, let's take a look at the 1997 penny itself. Understanding its history is key to fully appreciating what makes these rare errors so valuable. The 1997 penny may seem like just another year in the series of Lincoln cents, but it carries more significance than you might think. For decades, the US penny has featured the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, a design that has been in circulation since 1959. This iconic memorial represents a critical piece of American history, and the 1997 penny, just like all others before it, carries this powerful symbol. But there's more than just history behind this coin. In 1997, the US Mint produced millions of pennies, both in Philadelphia and Denver. That year marked a transitional period in the minting process, as the US was shifting from the economic climate of the 80s and early 90s into a more modern coin production era. This transition was accompanied by an increasing demand for coins, and while the minting process remained efficient, it didn't come without its challenges. One thing that is often overlooked is the sheer volume of pennies produced in 1997, almost 7 billion were minted that year alone. Despite this large number, most of these pennies were simply used as loose change and eventually lost their shine, spent, and discarded over time. But among these billions of coins, there are a handful of rare gems, coins that could be hiding in your coin jar, and I'm about to show you how to find them. Now, let's take a closer look at the 1997 penny. From the composition to the design, there's more than meets the eye. The 1997 penny, like its predecessors from the 1980s onward, was made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This change in composition, which began in the early 80s, was important due to rising copper prices and concerns over the cost of minting pennies. In fact, this shift meant that the cost of producing each penny became greater than its face value, something that continues to be true today. When you look at a 1997 penny, you'll see the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and the bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Both designs are deeply ingrained in US coin history. The date, 1997, is boldly stamped, along with the word Liberty on the obverse, and the mint mark indicating whether it was produced in Philadelphia or Denver. But here's the thing: while most 1997 pennies look pretty much the same, there are some that stand out. Some of these pennies are incredibly rare, and can make you a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's dive into the rare errors that could make your 1997 penny more valuable than you ever imagined. One of the most sought-after errors you'll find on 1997 pennies is the double die error. So, what exactly is a double die error? Well, it's a fascinating mistake that happens when the coin die, which is used to stamp the design onto the penny, fails to properly align during the minting process. This results in a doubling effect, where certain features, like the date or words, appear twice. On the 1997 penny, the most common places to find this error are on the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse. If you inspect closely, you might see the doubling effect on the lettering, where it looks like the coin was stamped twice. This error is highly sought after by collectors, as it's a rare occurrence that can dramatically increase a penny's value. Another error to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not properly aligned in the minting machine, causing the design to be struck off-center. You might notice that the design seems shifted or even incomplete, with part of the penny's edge missing. Off-center strikes are more common on older coins, but finding one on a 1997 penny makes it a real treasure for collectors. Die cracks and cuts are other rare errors that can increase the value of a 1997 penny. Die cracks occur when the coin die starts to wear out, causing cracks to form in the design. If these cracks appear on the penny, they become part of the coin's unique history. Cuts are similar, but they occur when part of the die actually breaks off, creating a raised area on the penny. Both of these errors are valuable to collectors because they are evidence of the die's wear and tear during the minting process. One more error to keep an eye out for is a misplaced mint mark. If the mint mark is placed incorrectly, either too high, too low, or even missing entirely, it can make your penny more valuable. This is a mistake that often goes unnoticed by the untrained eye, but it's a significant error that increases the rarity of the coin. Now that we've explored some of the errors that could make your 1997 penny worth a lot more than 1 cent, let's talk about how to determine the value of your coin. Not all 1997 pennies are going to be worth a fortune, but the rare errors we've discussed could significantly increase their value. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin, including the 1997 penny. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to MS 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. A coin that is in mint condition, with no visible wear and tear, will be worth more than a penny that has been circulated heavily. While most 1997 pennies are worth just 1 cent in circulated condition, if you happen to have a penny in near mint or mint condition, it could fetch more than its face value. But it's the error pennies that really shine when it comes to value. A 1997 penny with a double die error, for example, could be worth hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's overall condition. But there's one error that stands out above all others: the 1997 DDO, double die obverse, penny. This error is so rare and valuable that it can turn your penny into a collector's dream. When you look at a 1997 DDO penny, you'll notice doubling on the date, as well as on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This is a highly coveted error that has been known to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. Now, how do you know if you have one of these rare and valuable pennies? The first step is to carefully inspect your penny with a magnifying glass or loupe. Look closely at the date and the inscriptions to see if there's any noticeable doubling. If you see any signs of doubling, especially on the date or the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," you might be holding a goldmine. If you think you found a rare 1997 penny, it's time to get it graded. Sending your coin to a professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC, will help you get an accurate assessment of its value. These services use experts to examine your coin and assign it a grade, which can significantly impact its worth. Once your coin is graded, you'll have a better idea of its value, and you'll be in a better position to sell it for top dollar. Speaking of selling, where do you sell your rare 1997 penny? The most popular platform for selling coins is eBay, where collectors from all over the world are looking for rare finds. You can also check out specialized coin dealers and auction houses that specialize in rare coins. But remember, getting your coin graded can help you sell it for more money, so don't skip that step. If you prefer a more personal touch, you can always visit a local coin shop or coin show. Just be sure to do your research beforehand to ensure that you're getting the best price for your rare coin. And remember, it's important to protect yourself from fraud. Always make sure you're working with reputable dealers. Now, the big question: should you sell your 1997 penny now, or hold on to it for even more value in the future? This is a tricky decision, as coin values can fluctuate over time. But if you've got a rare 1997 penny with a significant error, it could continue to increase in value. especially if it's in mint condition. As we wrap up today's video, we hope you've learned something new about the 1997 US penny and the valuable errors that could be hiding in your coin jar. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual coin enthusiast, knowing how to spot these rare treasures is key to unlocking their full value. Don't forget to share your experiences with 1997 pennies in the comments below. Have you found a rare penny in your collection? Be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more coin-related content. Until next time, happy collecting. You never know what hidden treasures you might find in your change. Keep hunting those pennies, you might have a fortune on your hands.